All right, hey everyone, welcome Tellor Dev Call, August 7th. So a little bit of a short crowd. We're missing Owen and Brenda today, but main crew's still here. Yeah, lots going on. Should have some exciting announcement stuff coming out soon. Stay tuned. But yeah, I'm working on quite a few different projects, doing that hackathon, sort of mentoring there. What is it? Super hack.
EthGlobal
Super hack, if you're interested. And then I got my ETH New York tickets this past week. So if you're going there, Tellor will be there. It's at the end of, it's not till like the end of September, but you can go get your tickets now. We'll be there. So I don't know, will you be back up in New York, Ryan?
Actually, I will not, but that is a great time to be in New York. That's like
Yeah.
one of the best months.
So yeah, it'll be cool. Anyway, cool. So yeah, I guess I'll just ask you guys. The first things I'll ask, yeah, whenever you guys are going, I'll ask. Tim, how's things? Is the registry article ready?
No, that's my first order of business. I know I said I would have it done last week and I didn't pull it off, but yeah, so that's my first order of business this morning.
All right.
Let me know if you need me. I was gonna
Okay.
ask you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like turn it into blog format at some point. So
Okay. I'll probably be hitting you up, Mike.
Thanks.
And then other than that, continuing with some research.
Cool. Nice. And then, yeah, if you want to look at for Spuddy, you have 2 pull requests in the data specs as well for CPI and Trueflation, I believe.
Are we gonna change those?
We are.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can probably we probably don't even need the Trueflation one anymore. We can talk about it, but yeah.
I was gonna pitch just calling it Tellor CPI. And then if we change our methodology for how to get it in the future, what do you think?
Well, like now it is just going to be CPI. So like our current
It's gonna
methodology is just the CPI.
You could call it the Spuddy CPI because the methodology is Spuddy types in the CPI. That's just,
What?
we're only doing this on test nets.
Long story short, so I'll
Somebody tells you.
yeah, so for those watching, there's a coin who's a liquidity fork, but they're using us and they want to also use us to peg the token to inflation, which is super cool. They want to use the Trueflation numbers, which are cool, but the problem is Trueflation is literally a single API run by their team, and it's also pulled by Chainlink. So you have to access it by Chainlink. So like we would be the fallback to Chainlink in that case, which wouldn't make any sense to actually still use the Chainlink number as a fallback, because if they went down, we would go down. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we pitched them, and we're just gonna pull the normal CPI numbers, and we'll fall back to that. And it's not quite the Trueflation numbers, but it's still an inflation measure that
is different than the one that changed.
is different. And if that one goes down, then this one presumably would not also be down. So we're gonna be putting that one on. So I would just call it normal CPI.
Just call it CPI.
CPI, whether it's CPI, and then how we sort of format the data specs are different, because there's like the CPI total, and then there's going to be the CPI, they want the housing index as well. So we have to sort of make formats for that, those series, but that's what we'll be doing. So Tim, take a look at those data specs too, if you can.
Okay.
But yeah, they don't need anything else, though. They're doing good, right? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm a little bit confused about how they're going to use these things, but
That's not our job.
it's all, yeah, it's good to know. Whenever you would think that we would know everything about the projects that are going to use Tellor Oracle data, but we know very, very little, unless they share their code.
Even sometimes if they do.
Even sometimes if they share their code, they often do not. So yeah, especially when they're in the early stages, we don't know. We sometimes don't even know really what they're going to do with the numbers. So
yeah, so I mean, we can get the data on chain, but as you guys can tell, like going through like since we're a fallback, we want different data sources. Like we do, the more we know about and can help you think through some of that stuff, it's usually better for projects because, you know, we want to help them succeed. So share if you can.
This is a perfect example because had we not been in conversation with them, then they might have integrated a fallback that is using the same exact data source.
Yep, that's
And
also
they just
centralized.
let it all- yeah, so just simple conversation led to a much more robust potential integration.
Cool. Akram, how's things?
Good. Added some tests to the Cadena stuff. Everything looks good. I just need to push it. Doing some research, hacking some code, learning languages. That's what I'm doing. So.
All right. By the way, I was just going over like to-do lists and I had an old one from you. Is Telliot, is the tip scanner built into Telliot now?
The tip scanner?
Yeah. No, that's still a okay. Nice.
It works great though.
It works great.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't. Do you want it to be built in?
No, I know we had said it in the past we were going to. I didn't know if we
I think it's better to be separate, to be honest.
okay.
So just clutter the code.
All right, if everybody's happy with it, that's
Yeah.
cool with me.
This is a modular approach
Yes.
Soft.
to really oversell it.
Well, even if it was part of Telliot, like installed with Telliot, it would be like a separate command, right? Like it would be like Telliot report or Telliot scan.
Could be.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's more of a sovereign approach.
Oh, there. You use the parlance of our time.
Yes. All right. No, I was reading an article on, and they're calling them roll downs. They're no longer roll ups, they're rolling down. So that's like whenever you connect.
I like it.
Whenever you connect one L2 to, and you roll up to multiple L1s, that's not rolling. Then you have to, when you download the L1 state, it's called being a roll down. And I was like, I guess it makes sense. But anyway,
The layer ones become the roll-ups, I guess.
yeah, everything's a roll up of each other. And that's like where it's going to. And like people, like I think it is, everybody's going to connect with these, like, you know, if the bridge is like a light client bridge and you have exit mechanisms for locked tokens, that's basically a roll up. It's just like, which one are you using for data availability? Does that define whether it's a roll up or not? I don't know. But like basically everything's going to be connected with these like exit mechanism, like client bridges and some data availability on each one. And then like, you're just going to connect everything to everything, but then everything's also sovereign in some way and has the ability to fork. So, and there's probably multi-sigs over top of all of it. So it like,
It sounds like
it doesn't actually fix any of our problems. And that's like where we're gonna go to. It seems like, but who knows? Yeah, it's like everybody has a bunch of really good ideas, but when you put them together, it's like a really bad idea.
I'm picturing that Charlie Day meme.
Yes. Ryan, how's things?
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna just be focusing my time on the trying to get Diva to pop up on the data feed.
Nice. How was the festival?
Really fun, really cool. Being in the woods, always a good time. California mountain topography is always I went to school in Santa Cruz, so it was cool to be in that environment again. But good music, good food, cool talks, good time.
A lot of crypto people?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Nice.
definitely.
Cool. Cool. Spuddy, anything else?
No, I was working on the CPI stuff.
All right. Yeah.
I did publish the disputable values monitor step by step
Oh yeah.
since we had the last dev call. So
Go look at that.
if anybody watching wants to learn how to monitor Tellor for possible values to dispute, there's now an idiot's guide for that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can vouch for it.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Yeah, I should be pushing out this one pager for the Parity community people.
Nice.
We're like imminently launching over on Parity. We're kind of in the testing phase and the biz dev phase for that, and so they asked for us to send out kind of like an informational packet about Tellor. So I have something put together for them, and I've been doing the branding. It's been a while since we've done this internally. A lot of more oracles have come out into the space, and there's a lot of different styles of oracles. And so we're doing like an internal like messaging audit of the oracle landscape. And just, I've noticed already just how much the way oracle projects are marketing themselves and the different lingo that they use has changed a lot in the last just even a year or 2 years. So it's just interesting to see how that's going. And at some point here, we'll do a refiguring of kind of what our messaging is as well. So just preparing for that.
nice. Yeah. No, like I've reached out, like you guys know I do the deep dives. Like I've reached out to like 10 different Oracle projects after the Oracle Summit. I was like, hey, like let's do a redo of the deep dive. Let's see what you guys are up to. And like half of them are like, can we do this in 6 months? We're doing a rebrand right now. And it's like, all right. So yeah, not naming any names, but yeah, like it's always like they're just like, no, we're not saying anything right now. Like it's all old stuff that we're still doing. We're working on something big. Like we'll do rebranding. And I'm like, all right, we'll wait. So lots of fun stuff in the Oracle landscape. That's for sure. Anyway, any questions?
Yes, Mayumos popped in and had a question about hybrid smart contracts. What kind of hybrid smart contracts can Tellor support? And I guess a hybrid smart contract,
This is a chain link thing, right?
it's a chain link thing. The way they describe it is it's a smart contract that combines the technology of a smart contract with the off-chain computation and data from the decentralized Oracle networks of Chainlink.
I think this is just a fancy way of saying a smart contract that uses an Oracle.
Yes.
Chainlink specifically.
Well, I mean, that's like, the easy ones here, they have like a keeper network or like or the big one, like fair sequencing service. So like a decentralized sequencer, like you could use that as like an Oracle could technically do that, or like similar like data computation and privacy or scalable computation. So like, how do you scale blockchains?
Do it off chain.
You could do it off chain. And these are like could Tellor be used for that? And the answer is like maybe, but these are actually really, really hard problems. And like one of the ways that you can solve them is to just slap a multi-sig over top of it and use a centralized service. Because like if you abstract away all of the hard problems into a multi-sig, it's no longer a hard problem. And that's basically what Chainlink does. Like, can you build a decentralized sequencer? Well, yeah, like you can. It's just really, really hard. And there's a, like it starts to question whether or not it's actually beneficial over, being an L1, and there's other questions about cost and who's doing the staking, and it's a whole big, whole unsolved problem that's really hard.
Especially in a world where you already think that Chainlink is decentralized enough.
Right.
Well, then the whole world is open up to you.
Well, this is the problem. Like we had, like I've talked to, no naming names, but as far as like projects who want to use like a price feed, and they're like, we need a decentralized price feed. We're going to use Chainlink just because they're the standard, and we'd want to maybe use you guys Tellor too as like a fallback or something. And then you start talking to them, and I'm like Chainlink's not decentralized. Like, why wouldn't you use Uniswap or like something like that? And they're like, well, if you use Uniswap, the problem is like the address could change. So like how would we upgrade the addresses, for the underlying contract? And that's something that you would need governance in your contract for. And then if you had governance in yours, it's a big security risk. So like, how do you solve that problem? Well, you just hand it over to Chainlink, who can figure it out for you, and they can upgrade those contracts. So you basically took this hard problem of needing to manage where the Oracle prices are coming from and gave it to a multi-sig that's not yours. And that's like what happens with a lot of times when people are trying to solve these problems and they say that they have some magic solution. It's basically like they just centralized away the problem. So
They probably call that being upgrade proof or something like that, you know.
for sure. But yeah, like that's, you know, like, and that, like, is it better for the protocol to own it internally? Like, and have governance? Maybe, like it's, but it just, at least the problem is on the surface, you
Sure.
know, like, so it's tough. Anyway, yeah, don't fall for it.
A lot of the other stuff, there's a lot of stuff in that hybrid smart contracts list. That's exactly what Tellor does and other oracles do, you know.
Right.
You can query so we could actually do any API in a, you know,
Right.
I guess it's almost exactly the same way, to be honest. You tip requesting the API data that you want, and the report is raised to put it on chain.
Yeah. Always a question of whether or not you want to, but different issue. So anyway, that's it. Hope that answers your question. Anything else, Ryan?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Talk to you next week.